Hello everyone and welcome to this new edition of Eco Africa, the environment magazine brought to you by Channels TV here in Nigeria, NTV in Uganda and Germany's Deutsche Welle. I'm Neo Taigbe coming to you from Lagos, and joining me of course is my colleague Sandra Twinobio. And hello there, Sandra.
Hi Neota, and hello from Kampala. A warm welcome to you, our viewers from all across Africa and the rest of the globe. So glad you've joined us for the program. Once again, we'll share examples of how to make our world a little bit cleaner and thereby making it a bit better. Here's a quick look at a few of this week's reports. In Rwanda, we will learn how communities can live in harmony with the mountain gorillas. In Senegal, we will find out how simple it can be to compost kitchen waste. And in Ghana, we'll meet a man who calls himself a forest saver. Have you ever heard of the term Hassonomics? It is a small-scale affordable housing project in South African ownerships, and its main mission is to replace informal backyard shacks with durable structures. And what's even more important, recycled construction waste is used to build the homes. Meet the founder and director, who has already won a number of awards for his innovative business idea, and also see how it works.
Greater Johannesburg is home to around 8 million people. Many of them live in densely populated informal settlements or townships like Soweto, just southwest of the city.
We have a lot of people who are coming to Johannesburg, coming to look for work opportunities. So most of them actually prefer to live in the townships because it's cheaper to live there when you're renting, and it's actually convenient for you to live from wherever you're staying to go to work. So this creates an opportunity for homeowners to actually create accommodation for those people where they're renting the backyard structures.
But that accommodation often consists of simple corrugated metal shacks erected in backyards which offer little privacy or protection from rain and cold. Landlord Lovu grew up in a sheet metal shack himself. A trained bricklayer, he got the idea to replace corrugated shacks with brick structures. He even developed a way to make the bricks he uses to keep them as affordable and environmentally friendly as possible.
They're more like, almost like Lego bricks. Because the interlocking, you actually use 70% less cement. So this actually cuts your building cost by up to 30%.
Landlord Lovu makes his bricks out of all construction waste, so he doesn't need to use sand. That also means the bricks don't have to be fired in a kiln, which saves on energy. Because the building blocks are interlocking, the pressure of their own weight is sufficient to make the walls strong and stable. It's an unusual way to build, but it's less of a burden on the environment than traditional masonry. Before moving into one of the new brick houses, Zwandli Sibir, a car mechanic, spent 6 years living in a metal shack. Now he has a proper home. He has to pay more rent for the new house, but he thinks it's well worth it.
Actually, I'm very, very, very happy because if you are staying in the shack, it's not like you're staying in a room. Shack is like, it's not a place to be like as a human being, actually. To staying in a room, it's where you feel you're confident with everything. Like shack is not the room.
Building rubble is a major environmental problem in parts of Johannesburg. Many companies just dump their waste illegally to avoid paying disposal fees. That bothered Nondumiso Sibia so much that she founded a startup to recycle the waste rather than see it pile up in her neighborhood.
A lot of people do waste removal, right? They collect waste and then they collect waste. But then we actually take responsibility of where the waste ends up. We rehabilitate roads with the waste, we compost it, we also send it or distribute it to organizations that make use of it.
Organizations like Landlord Lovu's house building company. The two startups have compatible interests. The construction waste provides the basis for Global's environmentally friendly bricks. One issue still to be resolved is how to process building waste and transport it to construction sites.
We are working out how we can actually collaborate and use the rubble as raw material for making bricks, and then we'll need people to separate the waste and crush the waste as well.
Landlord Lovu says that many who come to Johannesburg hoping for a better life end up living in insufficient housing. They're exactly the people he wants to help, and not just by building homes for them. He has many more ideas for the future.
The plan is to actually train the people that live here, upskill them to actually build their own structures. So we can replace all the shacks by giving them skills and also training them to build their own houses.
Sustainable homes constructed from recycled materials using more eco-friendly methods. A forward-thinking solution that's beneficial not just to the environment but the well-being of entire communities.
Rwanda is one of the most densely populated countries in Africa. Even so, in the west of the country, on the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo, is one of the last remaining refugees for the gorillas. A foundation is now showing school children how to preserve the gorillas' habitat. That may help ensure that people are able to continue to coexist with the endangered animals. Eco Africa went by to see the gorillas.
Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda is home to a very rare animal, the mountain gorilla. There are fewer than 1,000 left in the wild. The spread of disease and habitat loss pose a threat to this endangered species. To help protect the gorillas, Valerie Akura Desenge teaches children about environmental conservation. She's the program director for Conservation Heritage Turambe, or CHT, which is located in Musanze district next to the park.
Kids are the tomorrow's generation. Yes, kids can easily spread the message. Kids can learn so quickly. So we just have chosen to work with kids, school children, because they can be able to deliver the message to the rest of the community.
Rwanda is one of Africa's most densely populated countries. Though these children live close to the gorilla's natural habitat, most have never seen one. Using papier-mâché masks, Valerie and her colleagues help bring the gorillas to life. They also encourage the kids to draw pictures of the majestic apes.
They like to draw the gorillas. When they talk about them, the children start acting like gorillas, beating on their chests.
But conservation education is just one pillar in the efforts to save the mountain gorillas. Another is creating alternative livelihoods for the local community. This farmer has just received a lamb. By donating sheep to local families, the conservationists hope to encourage people to stay out of the forest.
I feel happy about winning a sheep. As a farmer, it will help me fertilize my field.
Instead of entering Volcanoes National Park, which is the home of mountain gorillas, to collect other resources found there, can be bamboo shoots, can be going to set snares in the forest, like looking for meat. That used to happen before. But when you give them sheep, it's an alternative to what they've been collecting from the mountain gorilla's habitat.
The most exciting part of the classes is an excursion into Volcanoes National Park. There, the school children get an opportunity to see the mountain gorillas in their natural environment.
They come up to discover, wow, are these mountain gorillas? Because they have been watching them in the films or seeing them through visuals. We were showing them today, and they have never seen that. So seeing them in natural habitat, they are really like, wow, they are like us. So that also excites them.
Valerie Akura Desenge and her colleagues have received numerous awards for their efforts. For Valerie, it's further encouragement to continue her work so that the great apes can be preserved here for generations to come.
Hey, all you coffee drinkers out there, did you know that over 2 billion cups are consumed worldwide every day? And much of that comes from beans grown in Africa. Did you know that, Niota?
Well, now I do know, Sandra. And while great coffee is high in demand, dry periods, insects, or lack of knowledge and resources leaves many small coffee farmers struggling to sustain a livelihood. The situation is particularly critical in Eastern Africa. That's why climate academics have been established to teach farmers how to adjust their methods to the conditions of a changing climate. Here's our report from Kenya.
We are going to learn about
an outdoor training session at the Climate Academy.
We have more diseases because there is change in climate. In other words, and the climate change, the disease becomes more favorable to multiply. The insect pest becomes more favorable to multiply. The moment you prune, you are destroying the habitat for the diseases.
On today's schedule, the correct way to prune coffee trees. The aim is to prevent the fungus that causes coffee berry disease, which destroys the beans. The farmers at the Climate Academy are expected to act as multipliers. The idea is that they will pass on the techniques to up to 50 other farmers.
Now, is there enough space here such that there will be good air movement? Yes. Yes, there is good air movement. So there is no disease which can hide here.
Machakos is a coffee region in southern Kenya. Here, a local cooperative operates a model coffee plantation. But climate change brings challenges like diseases, drought, or too much rain, and this is causing yields to fall. The Climate Academy is visiting today and wants to help the farmers adjust. The program is funded by the Fair Trade Foundation. Pruning is just one way the farmers can become more successful again.
Apart from pruning, we have the nutrient application. They are supposed to apply nutrients at the right time, the right nutrients. We train them about the soil fertility, because nutrient is one thing, soil fertility is another one.
Despite tips on cultivation, many farmers find it difficult to live just from growing coffee. Through the Climate Academy, they earn microcredits and gain expertise on how to generate more income, be that through aquaculture or beekeeping. Coffee farmer James Mbithi is now trying his hand at chicken farming.
With all my new knowledge learnt at the Climate Academy, I can even sell more than 9 chickens, and none of them sell for less than 1,000 shillings. Even when my relatives come to visit me, I can take the chickens and use them for food. Before that, it wasn't possible.
But coffee remains the main source of income in the area. The cooperative still processes its members' harvests and helps marketing. It collaborates with the Climate Academy and follows a green approach to working. This pulp used to be waste. Now farmers use it as a cheap organic fertilizer instead of expensive chemicals.
Recycling and making the most of existing resources. We've got a couple of examples on that on today's program. In this week's Doing Your Bit, we head to Dakar, Senegal, to see how a simple, cleverly designed composter turns mango peels, coffee grinds, and other household waste into rich, fertile soil.
Most households produce a fair amount of organic waste every day. And that can be used to produce fertilizer for flower or vegetable gardens. When Nadia Chingon couldn't find a composter in Senegal's capital, Dakar, she decided to make her own. Her team turned standard metal barrels into simple but effective composters. Holes in the sides and top help to aerate the kitchen or garden waste and speed up the composting process. They'll also allow earthworms and insects to get inside and help break down the organic matter. A small door cut at the base makes soil removal easy. After adding a coat of paint, the composter is ready. They can be produced in several sizes. Over the past year, the team made about 200 units.
All you need is a container. The climate in Senegal is perfect for compost. With the humidity, there's no need to do anything. It transforms on its own. That's how we came up with the idea.
Any vegetable or fruit scrap can be added, as well as bread, pasta, tea leaves, coffee, and nut and eggshells. When mixed together, the organic waste breaks down naturally into a nutrient-rich compost. It takes about a month for the garbage to transform into fertilizer, which can be used for anything from plants in pots or boxes to papaya or orange trees.
And how about you? If you're also doing your bit, tell us about it. Visit our website or send us a tweet. #DoingYourBit. We share your stories.
Rising sea levels are a worrisome development that is causing coastal loss and could eventually lead to entire islands being submerged. It's a scenario that is already threatening an ecosystem on the coast of northwestern Europe, the Wadden Sea. Communities on the offshore islands are seeing increasingly frequent floods, and local flora and fauna could face dramatic changes. Our eco reporter paid a visit to an island on the North Sea coast of Germany.
The sheep on the island of Pellworm might outnumber the 1,100 inhabitants, but their grazing helps to maintain the sea dikes, and that serves everyone. Because on average, Pellworm lies a meter below sea level. The dikes are in fact key to the island's survival. In times gone by, the local population protected themselves from the high waters by building their homes on man-made hillocks known as dwelling mounds. Twice a year, these two men inspect the dikes to make sure everything is intact. But can these vast structures continue to protect the island as the planet warms and sea levels rise? Fabian Lücht is a coastal defense expert for the northern German state of Schleswig-Holstein.
Dike defenses are still the best solution because they offer us a way to counteract the effects of climate change. And our measures for the coming years offer a secure future that means the population of Schleswig-Holstein can continue to live and work in safety.
Lücht is responsible for the upkeep of the roughly 8-meter-high external dikes that run for almost 30 kilometers right around this island in the Wadden Sea. But Pellworm's internal dikes also help to protect the island, as do the drainage channels. Because it's not only the North Sea waters that pose a threat, but also those that rain down from above. So, how do the locals get the water off their island? They channel excess water into a basin by the harbor. From there, it's pumped out into the sea at low tide. It's a solid system, except during periods of extremely heavy rainfall. Increasing rainfall and rising sea levels will be challenges for Pellworm. But as a tide marker in the harbor shows, the islanders have plenty of experience with tidal surges. They've done battle with the sea on many occasions. Nevertheless, the local population can no longer rely on the exact same dike construction that has served them in the past.
The state of Schleswig-Holstein came up with a strategy. It's called the climate dike. We're factoring in climate change and are currently strengthening our dikes in such a way that we can build them as high as 2 meters above sea level.
The green area shows what the dikes currently look like. The climate dikes slope more gently towards the sea, and a so-called safety cap of an additional 50 centimeters is built on top. Depending on how high the sea level rises, even more height can be added at a later date. The whole exercise is very costly, but many on Pellworm share the view that the dikes are the safest form of protection, And in the case that the defenses fail to stand up to the sea in the future, the islanders are also planning to build emergency accommodation on dwelling mounds, the same kind of man-made hillocks on which houses used to be built.
If in the near future there are moments when the dikes can't hold the water back, we'll seek refuge on the dwelling mounds. It won't be easy because storm surges tend to happen in the dead of night during heavy rains and strong winds. Actually getting to the dwelling mounds wouldn't be a walk in the park, but however difficult, we still have to make that provision.
On the whole, the people of Pelvorm are calm, perhaps because experience has taught them that land comes and land goes, but they're absolutely determined to do everything they can to protect their island.
Protection and conservation, that's also what our next report is about. In recent decades, Ghana has lost a vast tract of rainforest. It's a situation that is worsening climate change.
That's right, Niota. One local eco-activist and entrepreneur decided to address the problem and reforested a piece of land. By practicing sustainable forestry there, he's helped revive the natural ecosystem. His enterprise is not only good for the environment, but it has also become a popular destination for the eco-tourists.
So, can I have the ladies come forward?
This is a moment Wellington Biden particularly enjoys, treating his visitors to the intoxicating scent of ylang-ylang blossoms.
Okay. You can pass it around to the gentleman, but back's going to smell like that for weeks.
That's good. Really? Walking in the flower garden, it's quite beautiful. It's very nice to see that there's an area like this in Ghana that others, whether they're here in Ghana or even outside of the country, can come to and actually enjoy nature.
It started 20 years ago when Biden planted up his holding of 210 acres. He founded Portal Forest Estates and initially just sold wood products.
We thought we could intercrop with food crops and keep it going by selling those food crops to generate short-term revenue, except that the community and the workers kept eating everything even before it was ready.
To generate more income, he and his team had another idea. They decided to propagate local plants and extract essential oils. In 2018, they added ecotourism. During every tour, visitors are served up a typical Ghanaian dish that is made exclusively of local forest produce. Wellington Biden is also linking up with the local community in Bedum. He has hired several locals as chefs and tour guides or to work in his laboratory. Technician Isaac Kudjo is in charge of producing the essential oils as well as natural cosmetics such as soap.
Because our products are natural, sourced from the forest, they tend to have less side effects, and then they really have give that very effective treatment. Like for aromatherapy, you can really get the feel of the aroma from the plant, and they have no side effects or anything, whatever.
The oils are sold across the country, including in the capital, Accra. Retailers there also provide interested customers with detailed information about the products. On guided tours, visitors hear about the company's mission. Future plans include sustainable construction projects for their ecotourism business.
This is because we want to reduce our carbon footprint on the environment. Typical construction activities are environmentally unfriendly. We want to reduce that and be more environmentally friendly.
Wellington Biden attaches great importance to passing on his knowledge to the next generation.
Now our main focus is the Experiential Learning Center, where we're going to teach people what we have learned over the last 20 years. This is the only way that we can quickly disseminate what we've learned, because it's all about training and empowering people to also go out there and do it themselves.
In that way, Biden's projects provide an example to local residents, showing how they too can make a living from protecting the forest.
Wow, lots of interesting reports with plenty of inspiration for ways to take better care of our planet. That's all from Eco Africa this time. I hope you've enjoyed the show as much as I have. I am Sandra Twinobdio signing off from Kampala.
See you next time, Sandra. And for you, our viewers, if you want to find out more about the people and the projects we profiled today, visit us online and also check out our social media. And do be sure to join us again next week for a new edition of Eco Africa. I'm Nel Taegbe. So long for now from Lagos, Nigeria.